All right, guys, checking to see if you can hear us. I see we have a few people in here. Excited to see what's going on with this crew. I did put a poll in. Can you guys see the poll? It's just asking if you guys are Vendasta partners or not at this moment. Perfect. Perfect. Just to kind of gauge who we are talking to today. I am going to be your presenter today. My name is Braden Gadet. I'm a senior account executive here. We're going to wait a couple minutes just to see if anyone comes in a little bit later. But yeah, very excited to chat with you guys about this. I am going to be the presenter. We got Megan here as well, who is my manager. So if you have anything bad to say about me, you can definitely take it up with her. She'll be handling the chat. So if you guys have questions and you put them in the chat, we ask that you use the Q&A feature. But if you do put them in the chat, we will get back to you as soon as we can. Perfect. Perfect. And it looks like we got 3 total votes coming in hot for Vendasta Partners, which is great. I'm going to ask you guys to put in the chat right now, do you guys have or do you guys currently use the AI voice receptionist or the AI chat receptionist? Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. So a lot of what I'm going to cover today, it may or may not be kind of a refresher for you guys, but I'm going to really explain the context before we get into the content, because I think you need to understand the chatbot before you understand the multi-channel leads. And that's really what the purpose of this is for. So today's October 8th. We are doing our first workflow Wednesday of October. And we're talking about Conversations AI and the voice receptionist. Now, big thing here, I want to see how you guys are currently getting your leads. So I'm actually going to close that poll. It looks like most people are actually Vendasta partners. That's great. I want to see how you guys are getting your leads. So I'm going to publish another poll right now. It's got a couple questions in there. If you guys could respond to that, that's going to kind of help us design this course as we go forward, as well as just kind of see maybe where they're coming from currently. Are you guys doing sales? Are you guys getting referrals, or are they coming through social medias? I'm just going to give people a couple more minutes to get started here. Perfect. Referrals means your clients love you. Perfect. You guys getting referrals. That's awesome. Great. Well, guys, I think we're going to start going here. We're 4 minutes past, so if anyone jumps in the meantime or comes in after, this is being recorded, so people can check it out after the fact, which is great. So again, yes, this is being recorded. We do have a Q&A section on the right-hand side. Megan is going to be managing that while we go, and then after, because this is not a whole lot of content heavy, we're probably going to have lots of time for Q&A at the end of this. And if you guys do want to check out replays for any of these webinars or Workflow Wednesdays, as we're calling them, you can check them out at vendasta.com and jump into the content library. That's where you can find all these recordings. So excited to chat with you guys today. And what we're talking about again is the multi-location or the multi-channel management of leads. And Vendasta does this a couple different ways, but very first thing we're doing is we're going to talk about the challenges that businesses faced. Now, big thing here, as you guys are aware, lots of the time what happens when somebody looks for a service, let's say you're a plumber or a lawyer, it doesn't really matter. When someone comes in and actually looks for your service, they're usually doing it one of two ways today. They're doing it actually three ways. Referrals is probably the best kind of lead you can get. You've done good work for somebody else, and then another company will come in and ask who got that work done. They guide someone to you. That's a brilliant way to get a lead. Most people are doing it through Google search or nowadays AI search. Meaning if I'm looking for a plumber, I look up the best plumber near me. When I look up the best plumber near me, I'm going to get a list of plumbers that fit what I'm looking for. The problem there is if a plumber's under a sink doing work, they're not going to be able to get back. They're not going to be checking their emails. They're not going to actually be checking their social media. They're not going to be managing their phone. They're doing the work. Maybe you have a receptionist, and that receptionist is busy with a client, busy on the phone. They're not getting back to people. Now, what happens in that time frame is somebody will wait generally up to 30 seconds for a response, and then they just jump to the next person on the list. And 30 seconds is a generous number. What you're going to see is it's so easy to go to the next person on the list, try calling them, and if they answer, well, you just lost that lead. Now that happens for all businesses, not just marketing agencies. That happens for plumbers, electricians, lawyers, doctors, dentists. It happens for everybody. We're in a time now where people are looking for instant gratification. You got instant noodles, you got Instacart, you got all these things that are really trying to get people to do things quickly or get quick results. So if you wait to respond to somebody or they can't get a hold of you, they will go to the next person. Now that's kind of the first problem. The second problem we see is that once you get those leads, now you have multiple channels to manage those leads out of. That might be Facebook, that might be Instagram, that might be phone calls in your voicemail system, that might be text messages. Maybe you're using a VoIP system or some kind of call forwarding device where you have to separate yourself or spread yourself pretty thin to find all of these messages. And the third problem that we see is maybe your Facebook doesn't line up with your website. Maybe your salespeople aren't saying things that line up with your business model. Maybe your Instagram doesn't completely relate to the services you offer. So people are getting very misconstrued identities of your business. And the problem there is sometimes not just your clients, but Google and AI have no idea what you do. So what we tried to do and what we've done is we've created the AI voice receptionist and the AI chat receptionist to help with these leads. Now, I hope you guys can see this. It looks pretty small on my screen, but I'm going to walk you through it. I altered a slide we use in our demos quite a bit to show mainly what we're talking about today. What we're talking about is you can capture leads from multiple sources. Most people are doing this already. The problem comes from management of those leads. But you might have a really strong SEO presence. You might have a really strong reputation online. You might even be putting out really good social media content. In that scenario, what happens is people land on your website. With that website, there are probably multiple ways to get a hold of you. These could be contact forms. These could be, emails like get a hold of us. This could be a voice receptionist or a phone line or a text number, different ways to communicate with you. Most people have their social pages on their website, so people can check that out too. So maybe they land on your website, which is great. Then they end up on your social media page and they send you a message there. What happens is you have a really tough time. Most businesses have a really tough time managing all of that. Now, even if they do have a web chat on the website, I'm sure you guys are aware of this. I see it all the time, but it's a very static web chat where Maybe it has preloaded questions and preloaded answers, but it's not dynamic. You can't ask your questions. Or maybe there's a gate there where it asks for your information before it ever adds value, right? That turns a lot of people off. That creates a friction point. And now people are going in another direction or finding another site because they just felt like they had to give information before they got value. Vendasta combats that through our chatbot. It sounds like a few of you guys are using it, so I'm excited to chat about what you can do with it. But what we also do is we have a CRM system where all of these leads pull into the CRM regardless of where they come from. Now that's powerful for you as well as your client. Maybe someone tries calling you and you don't answer. Well, we can have the AI receptionist follow up by text, and now the clients can have a text conversation with your AI receptionist as if you were there to answer the phone. What that's going to do is that's going to save you a ton of time, a ton of money. You don't have to hire a receptionist to handle these leads. You have a $39 wholesale product or a $99 wholesale product doing it for you. But the whole goal here is for it to either capture the information and pull it into the CRM, or book the appointment, book the meeting for you. And that's where this AI receptionist comes in. If you guys have got that far with the chat bot, now it's expanding on it, expanding into the alternatives and the different channels that you can put this on. And I'm going to dive into it a little bit here, and I'm going to dive into it through one of our test accounts, and I'm going to get you guys to test it out. The biggest thing is we have the Conversations AI chatbot, and we have the Conversations AI voice receptionist. They are both there for you to help you manage and scale your leads. So if you guys are aware of Vendasta, there's two portals. There's the Partner Center and the Client-Facing Portal. When you come into the Client-Facing Portal, if you have purchased a chatbot or a receptionist for your client, you're going to see this AI Workforce Configuration tab. Now, I am going to explain some context here so you guys can understand the content. But really, when we come in, you have a couple different options. The very first thing is you want to put your logo, your brand, make it your own, change the name, give it a personality. When we look at the purpose here, this is the main personality of your voice and chat receptionist. The idea is we can actually program it out of the box to work really good. If you guys have tested this out on clients, you know that out of the box, it works. But maybe you actually want to give it alternative personality features or maybe an alternative purpose. You can actually add your own lines in here to program it from the very beginning. That's purpose. At the bottom here, what we have is capabilities. If you guys are using this, you know by default, the capability is to capture leads. Grab a name, grab an email, grab a phone number. All of that is there for you to actually pull into the CRM and have you follow up with them or your AI receptionist follow up with them. But you can actually add additional capabilities here. And the additional capabilities can really do whatever you want them to. This one's plugging into the weather forecast. You can have it book appointments directly into the calendar. You can have it look at inventory, so products you have in stock today, right? You can have it do a bunch of that stuff, and that is a capability. And we can think of this like, first, the chatbot looks at its purpose. That is its main set of orders. Capabilities become the second set, a subset of orders. The third thing we can do here is change the knowledge base. By default, out of the box, it's going to scan the website. If the website has good text, if it's formatted properly, the AI chatbot is learning the client's website or your website. And it's going to learn the Google Business Profile. That's the main thing it learns. Then what you can do is you can actually come in and add additional information. So that additional information might be maybe a website, another website you wanted to scan. That additional information might be another text page, maybe like frequently asked questions you wanted to scan, or a file upload. File upload would be like an Excel spreadsheet, maybe for inventory. That is the third subset of information. So in priority, it looks at purpose, capabilities, knowledge base. And this is there to really just make sure that you can make it your own, fully custom. Now, the thing that this chat is about, this conversation is about the different channels. Right now, and by default, it's just going to be on their website. But you can connect your Facebook, your Instagram, you're going to get a phone number that people can reach out to and have a conversation with. And you can connect it to different social platforms. If you're using WhatsApp, depending on where you're located, you can actually connect it to WhatsApp, which is great. But what this does is this creates a multi-channel flow. If we go into the different channels now, I'm going to show you a couple things. If you're using it, you're familiar with this, but you actually can get your clients a CRM complimentary. It's not going to cost you a thing. But the idea here is we can see exactly where these leads are coming from, whether it be form fills, web chat, the voice receptionist, maybe it's Instagram or Facebook. Once it captures information, it's going to pull into the CRM. Now, this is super important for you because every one of these leads is accredited to your business. You guys help them get the leads. They know they wouldn't have got these leads had they not had your CRM or had your chatbot or had the system to manage the leads. They might have got it through a form fill or something like that, but they wouldn't see it in one place generally. The other thing you can do is you can come in and you can see the conversations. So right here, we can see that everybody that communicates with this chatbot, as a salesperson or as the business owner, I can come in and I can see the chat that happened. Now, this is super important for multi-channel approaches. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the website. So this is our website for this specific business. We can see a contact form here, and I can just enter anything in here. So let's put Megan Martins, and I'm going to dox her so you guys can have her number. I'm just kidding. And this is a test at example.com. This is how most people get their leads, is some kind of form fill. Whoops. Now, the form is submitted. Generally, what happens is you're using a current CRM or you're getting maybe an email that sends you a message saying, hey, somebody filled out your form fill. That's normally how it works. With the chatbot, what happens here, or with the connection points, we're going to see these leads pull in. I'll try and zoom in here. This is a little hard for you guys to see, I think. But right here, we can see that a lead has come in. Now, that's not the one I just did. Mine will take a couple seconds, but it'll pull in and it'll say, Megan filled out a form. When that comes in, how we have this set up through automations is Jeff Libel's getting a text saying, hey, oh, I think I put Rylan Morris. So I used a number that Rylan used previously. So that's funny, but this is my form capture actually. But what happened here is Rylan had put in his number previously. So it's actually pulling in under Rylan's name. With this, we can see the exact form, but we also see that Jeff got a text. The business owner got a text saying, hey, you got a new lead. This is what they want. You can reach out directly by phone or by email here. And that's great. Now, when this happens, we're going to blow up Jeff's phone today, by the way. Hopefully he doesn't mind. But this is saying that the form has been filled. That's one way. The second thing that we can do is we can fill out the chatbot. And the chatbot here is really coming in and answering questions based on that context, that content we uploaded in it, right? So if I come in and I ask, what's the cost of a luxury pedicure? This is stuff you guys are all familiar with. You've seen this before if you use our chatbot. But what's happening here is it's learning the website, it's answering based off the information provided, and it's pulling into the actual CRM. But what happens if it happens through Facebook or Instagram? Well, I've already done this, so I can't really show it to you guys again. So I want you guys to come in if you're willing. And I'm going to put a link in the chat. I want you to go to the website. This is the Instagram actually, and fill out the information or just shoot them a message. This is again a test company, so you're not going to get follow-up. You'll have the chatbot messaging you, but it's not going to send you messages ongoing. But this is cool because now people can plug directly into your Instagram, send a message, and have a conversation even though we're not there. So how much for a luxury manicure, right? Same kind of thing. You guys can come in, you can test it out, you can play around with it. And what's going to happen is it connects directly to your Instagram account. So if Braden Gadet is going into Instagram and messaging this chatbot, well, we're going to start the conversation. It's going to know exactly who I am. And right there, we can see that it responded to me. So nobody's on the other side here. This is the receptionist that's learned the website. We can see that their luxury manicure package starts at $32.85, and the cost can vary. But what's happening on the back end here is if we go back into the client-facing portal, we can see the conversations that are happening. And it looks like a couple of you guys actually did what I said, which is great. So right here, Braden Gadet, we can see he's asking about the manicure. We can see the whole conversation. The brand builder was asking, he's saying, what's up from Texas? So welcome, nice chatting with you. And then Bill Stanton came in and actually is testing it. So I'm loving this, you guys. Thanks for participating. But what's happening is you guys all got a text message back from the AI receptionist, or a message back, I guess, not a text message in this example, from the AI receptionist. And that's just one version. If you guys didn't get in and test that out, well, how about you come in and you test out the Facebook page? Remember, Jeff Leibel is going to love this. So what we want to do is we want to get you in there and start messaging. Right now, the social media platforms are Instagram, Facebook. They're bringing it to LinkedIn. LinkedIn's not here yet, but it's those three currently that we're working on. But the idea here is we can message, we can send messages, do the exact same thing. And again, the branding is the same. So if we come in and we message on this one and I ask the same question, what is the cost of a luxury manicure? It might ad lib a little bit, but it's going to give me the same answer. And how you program it will determine how it responds. Do you want it to be professional? Do you want it to send messages in a fun tone? Do you want it to sound like it loves its job? Like, you can program all that, which is great. But what happens again, AI receptionist responds, pulls directly into the CRM. So that's the Facebook one. What I want you guys to do is I want you to try this out. Now, I know this is a live call, so I won't be able to demo this for you guys, but I want you to call this number or text it, you choose. What's going to happen is you're going to be connected with the voice receptionist or the web chat, depending on if you text or if you call. We want to make sure that you guys understand the power of this. because lots of the time, I don't know about you guys, but if I showed you something right now, it's probably going to make your blood boil. But I don't know if you can see that, but I have 3,800 unread emails. I probably shouldn't even show that, but 3,800 unread emails. Okay. Sometimes my text messages even look like that, but most businesses have that same problem where like they're struggling to keep up. What's happening here is the chatbot can actually respond, have the conversation, build the value. Remember, this is not a static chatbot where you have to ask pre-qualified questions and get a pre-written up answer. This is a dynamic chatbot that has really, really good communication based on your business model. So if you text it, you can have whatever kind of conversation you want with it, and it's going to pull in to this chat. So we see Doug Dilbert in there. We see Bill Stanton again. I don't know if you guys are calling it or texting it. It's going to give us all your information and what you guys asked. Again, this information isn't being used, so don't feel like we're going to reach out to you constantly. The idea here is for demo purposes. The big thing though, if I click contacts, I can see Doug came through on Instagram. Bill came through on Facebook and Instagram. Braden came in through Instagram. So again, we're seeing these pull in real time. If you didn't leave your name and number and you just started a conversation with it, Tommy wants to treat his wife. So props to you. This is great. But what happens here is all of these leads are pulling in. We're finding out exactly where they came in from. Maybe that's how they like to communicate. Once it's set up, I can actually take on the conversation. So let's say a human wants to intervene. Well, let's reach out to Tommy here. You must be such a great husband. This one's on us. Now, my message goes into the chat with Tommy, and Tommy can respond to it from there. Again, so when you do that, by default, it actually changes the chatbot's functionality. So because I took over as a human, the chatbot, if Tommy responds, is going to wait an hour to respond because I took over the conversation. So now we've built safeguards in place so you can have the conversation or you can allow the chatbot to have the conversation. If you have your text messages set up, there you go. So you can see, perfect. Tommy, thanks for participating. This is great. But you can see that the chatbot's going to take an hour to respond now because a human interfered. Everything is pulling in the one place under that CRM. If I go into a conversation, and I might be doing this a little too quick, but let's go into the conversation with Tommy. After about 5 minutes, there will be a overview of the conversation that pulls into the CRM where Tommy can now, or the salesperson can come in and see that Tommy wanted to treat his wife and Braden came in and said, this one's on us, right? So nothing gets missed for each account. And that's what makes this so powerful. The idea is, you know, it's a quick response. We saw how fast those responses were. In fact, I'm going to create a poll here, another one. I want to know on average, how long does it take for you guys to get back to your clients? Most businesses try to do it immediately, but how long does it actively take you to get back to those clients? Because what this does, and what we teach at Vendasta, if any of you have come through the sales process at Vendasta and had calls from our SDRs or our account executives, you know that Vendasta offers, or Vendasta works on something called speed to lead. And this is super important for any kind of business owner, where somebody comes in, they are genuinely interested in what you have to offer, and then you take a day or two to get back to them. Lots of the time that interest may have faded or they've actually gone in another direction. So when we do it, when we set up this chatbot, the idea is to get a response as quick as possible, to again add the value on the front end. We can program it to ask for that information immediately, but what we really want to do is add value, answer their questions, and then get them to leave their name and phone number or book an appointment directly. When that happens, it all pulls into the CRM where we can see exactly what they're looking for, how they're looking for it, and what channel they came from. One thing I will also say here is we can see Doug's having a conversation now. Thanks for the participation, you guys. But if we look at anonymous web visitors are when somebody does not leave their information. So they maybe didn't leave a name or number. They didn't leave a way to reach out. This person asked for a haircut. I don't know if that was one of you, but you can see that it's going to ask for a name or number. It's going to ask more questions to add more value. When they leave their name and number, that will pull over into the inbox tab. Right here, we can even see that this guy's booking a meeting directly from the chat bot. So I don't know if that was one of you guys, but the idea again is get back to leads quickly, respond to those leads, follow up with those leads, book meetings with those leads. You can have the chat bot and the receptionist do all of the above. So looks like you guys are still testing this out. I love it. Somebody tried calling here. The nice thing about the calling feature is you can actually choose which voice, you can choose the tonality, you can choose all of that. But again, it pulls directly into the CRM. But guys, that's really all I had for you on this. This is really about multi-channel funnels. And Vendasta's built it so the chatbot can take care of it for you, pulls it all into one place so you can manage it, but also gets back to these guys in a timely manner. I don't know if this was valuable to you. I know there's 13 of us on this call, so if you guys saw value in this, I would love to hear about it. You can actually get a hold of me on LinkedIn. I think there's a button I can press here. So you can connect with me directly if we haven't connected yet. This will pull you right into the channel, and I'm going to open it up to some Q&A. If you guys have any questions about the chat bots, I know I saw a message about LinkedIn there. LinkedIn is coming. I don't know the time frame on it. We can potentially get that for you, or you can check it out in our change logs. If you go into the Vendasta plan or your partnership with Vendasta, and you click this help icon, there's this give product feedback, and you can actually see what people are talking about with the different products and services. So if I look out for LinkedIn, we can see everyone talking about the LinkedIn notifications. Access to the video, yep. What we have, so you are actually going to get a recording by email of this call, but if you want, at any point, you can actually come into vendasta.com and go to the content library. I'll show you how to get there right now. That's going to show you all of the courses that have been done in the past. And we can come in and we can see the resources tab. So we have case studies, we have the content library under the Learn feature, all of these recordings over the last handful of months that we've been doing this, and anything we put out outside of the actual Workflow Wednesdays pull into here directly. I don't know how long this one will take to upload, but it will be up there by the end of the day, I'm sure. Send the link to the content library, absolutely. That should work for you. So you can come in, you can play around, learn about our products and services, or maybe just get a refresher. Lots of our partners, as we know, Vendasta is a beast, handles a lot of problems, solves a lot of issues. So we have a YouTube channel and the content library that can help you with all of this. Or your account manager or account executive that you're working with. I see a message from Doug Dilbert. I don't know when you asked this, so sorry if it's a bit getting back to you, but can you do separate responses? Let's say if they inquire via Facebook, it's a different message than Instagram or a different response versus a website chat. Good question. What you can do is you can set up capabilities. So every one of your chat bots has a capability feature. The capability feature actually allows you to, again, build in a knowledge base. I'm not 100% sure if you can do this, and I'll get back to you maybe by email if I can find your email, Doug. And sorry, it's not Dilbert. I said Dilbert, but I'll get back to you by email. But if you were going to do it, it would be through a capability. So if somebody responds on Facebook, act this way. If somebody reaches out by Instagram, act this way. You could even offer special deals. So if they're coming through your Facebook page, maybe they get a special deal. You can build that all into the capabilities. Perfect. I will get back to you on this, and I get Brandon all the time, so it's back and forth here, but yeah, I hope you guys that added some value. Any other questions before we call it a day here? If not, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, reach out to me directly, or there always is the support line with Vendasta. You guys have probably seen that there's a new support chat for most of you guys. If you're on a plan, you have an AI assistant that you can plug in directly and ask questions to, as well as the customer success team and the account managers, depending again on your plan. But excited for you. The next one is, I believe, on the 22nd, and that's our boy Arpit leading the way on that one. Arpit is a account executive for enterprise businesses. It will be a really good call to plug into. Ed, I see your question. Can you tell me how to build a customer demo using a fake customer? Okay, so guys, all of this is available through the resource center, but because we finished early, I will show you this. Anytime you pull in an account, you do get a demo of the chatbot, of the receptionist. This is something Vendasta released about a year ago, where you can actually demo it before you purchase it. Okay. So when we come in and we find accounts, and let's just use a plumber near Dallas. If you guys want to demo this to your clients, we can create the account. And again, this only works if you're a Vendasta partner. I don't think this is available on the free plan, but here you can actually pull in the accounts. And what we did there is we just created a client-facing portal. The client-facing portal, what we did is we turned on a product called Local SEO Standard. That Local SEO Standard is the demo environment for the chatbot, and it's complementary to all of you guys. If we want to actually go into the business app, the client-facing portal, and use this, we can actually click on AI Workforce, configure it, and try it out. So this is the configure settings. Remember how I said the purpose, the capabilities, and the knowledge base. You can actually modify this however you want. And then if you want to try it out, we can click enable and try. And after about 5 minutes, it will have learned their entire website already. So we can come in and test it out directly for the client that you're turning this on for, you want to demo this for. It learns their information and acts as if it's a receptionist for their business. Once you brand this, it becomes a really, really powerful selling feature, especially when you can show them that you're going to give them a client-facing portal where it pulls all of these clients or these prospects into, and they haven't even paid you $1 yet. We can come into their account, go back to conversations. I can see the conversation with Braden, the entire conversation that happened, and the CRM showing that it came from the web chat. If you want assets for all of this, it's all available in your marketplace. So if we come into the product and we look up Conversations AI, we can actually see all of the screenshots and files that you guys need to turn around and start offering this. Even some white label videos that are available for you. If you, and Tommy, I don't know where you're at with your Vendasta journey, but you can plug into an account manager, reach out to me directly, and we can help you with that. But hopefully that, guys, hopefully that added value. I think I got all the questions answered. Megan, thanks for handling again the chat while I did the presentation. And we'll see you guys on the 22nd for the next one. Have a good one.